Part of the time I'm in the Indigo Girls. Part of the time I do a solo sort of rock, punk kind of thing. Sometimes I'm a label person. I started a label because we had been putting our own stuff out, and I just wanted to do something with the underground because that's where I feel comfortable. And so I just started a label, and it's been going ever since. It's called Damon Records, and it's just something I do on the side and have a good time with it. I end up signing a lot of queer people because they're not given opportunities. Even with a lot of other indies, you know, there's still this weird institutionalized homophobia that happens that's bizarre that it can coexist with such progress, but it does. What inspired me more musically was probably listening to like Neil Young and just feeling something in me that I couldn't really describe that was moving me to like want to play. I hooked up with Emily in like 10th grade, 1980. From really in high school, you know, really early, we were just working out songs together and going to bars and playing open mic nights with fake IDs and just, you know, having a blast. I played with Indigos. It's very folk-based, but what I was listening to was more of what we would call, I guess, punk or independent music. Punk's kind of a weird label now, you know, because it's got such an aesthetic attached to it. I've always just tried to insert it in what I do in different ways. In Indigos, it comes out in some ways, maybe with how we run our business or maybe what we write about or our activism, you know, that we choose to do. And with my own music, it might come out in just the style that I'm influenced by. So it just comes out in different ways. My audience for my solo stuff is younger sometimes because I started out my solo stuff with playing with the Butchies and members that had been in Team Dresch, and I played some shows with La Tigra as well, and they had a really young audience. It was good to be exposed to a different audience because the Indigo audience doesn't necessarily embrace what I do as a solo artist. I mean, we did some stuff with Pink, and we did something on her record with her, and then she came and did a song on our record that's coming out in September, and that was a great collaboration. And the song we did with her was this acoustic song called Dear Mr. President, and then she came in and sang on this song I wrote that really a tribute to some of the punk bands that have broken up in the last year called Rock and Roll Heaven's Gate. And she came in, and I wrote a part actually for her in mind to sing, and then she agreed to do it. So she's great. She's an incredible musician, incredible person. I've always been community-based in activism. I was brought up in the church in the South. The good thing I took away from that was helping your community. When we first started college, I guess we would do benefits for local shelters, and then it became benefits for AIDS organizations and needle exchange programs, and then environmental work, and it just grew. It is a model that was inspired by the native communities, really, and going out to Chiapas, Mexico, and working with the Zapatistas, and just learning what true community activism really is. We're all fighting the same thing, you know, which is a corporate sort of structure that puts profit over human life and dignity and draws lines of race and class and gender in a way that isn't comfortable for us. When we get asked about being lesbian icons, it's hard for me to even, because I don't really look at my art as having that kind of legacy or my life in that way. Art is like in the moment for me. It's just like, that was fun, let's create some more. The first music that made me feel that weird, tingly, associating music with crushes and stuff was probably the Partridge Family, Echo Valley 36809. I was pretty gay early on. I mean, I tried to have boyfriends, but I pretty much identified with David Cassidy, and I was the guy in front of the mirror, you know, with socks in my pants, you know, singing to my girlfriend, trying to be a rock star, you know, early on.